Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called Wrench Monkey, written by You Sure I'm Not a Robot. Sire, it has surrendered. I have imprisoned it in the cargo bay. The Necroton commander hissed at the soldier. You have isolated it. Has it got its, suit? His black scales caught the flashing lights from the consoles, glints of orange and green catching the edges. His eyes were narrowed against the glare. No, sire. We agreed its terms, and it surrendered its civilian clothes, he added hurriedly, unarmed. The commander rose to his feet, growling, And what terms did you agree to? I would like to know before their damned fleet turns up. The soldier sank back. Sire, it insisted the crew were released into the clear space. We left no transponders working on their life pods. They'll die in the dark or drift for years. It threatened to blow the engines if we refused. You told me that they were unimportant and that we only had one target. His voice was shaking with anxiety before his commander paused and nodded. Summon a new ship for us. I will set this one to self-destruct and we'll take our prize home. The soldier was confused. Sire, is something wrong with the ship? He looked around nervously. The commander grunted. Not yet, but that creature has no doubt planned for this, and I will take no risks on a ship it has already attacked. I have heard the stories and read the intel. I expect its people and those blasphemous computers of theirs are already on their way. We leave now and burn everything behind us. If the soldier was nearly going to say that, it seemed a little extreme, but he trusted his commander. He wasn't sure why the skinny creature slumped in the cargo hold was so dangerous or threatening, but he had his orders. Just to be safe, he called his men and raised that threat level. Then he summoned the new ship. He told it to stand off beyond the sensor range and send the shuttle without any transponders. 0 transmissions are allowed. He didn't know why his boss was paranoid about the alien, but he preferred to join in rather than feck up. Alice was indeed slumped down on broken boxes that made up seating in the stump. It had taken a lot of fast talking and even faster lying to get the crew out of the way, and now there was nothing but the future to deal with. She didn't recognize the enemy. They weren't friendlies. They weren't known unfriendlies. She had never seen this species before. Her personal shard of AI, buried too deep for these Feckers to find without killing her, didn't recognize them either. She coughed, I require water. One of the Xenos raised a weapon. Feck. Water, unless you want me dead, and there are easier ways to do that. She leaned back and closed her eyes. Someone was going to get her report, even if she had to go all Australian on them. Dear XCC, thank you for the opportunity to be abducted by the snake people of, somewhere in the deep dark. I look forward to the challenges of staying alive in the face of a bunch of murderous lizard people. Something that is so rare at home. I will, of course, maintain the highest traditions of our engineering corps and attempt to blow these feckers out of space and stay alive. Yours, fecking sincerely, me, another wrench monkey in trouble. Someone threw a bottle of water at her, and since she wasn't watching it, it hit her with a thump and added another bruise to her collection. The commander waited impatiently for the shuttle to arrive, as he set the captured ship on his own to burn up in the local sun. He approved of the caution that the soldier had displayed as the shuttle flew silently towards them. One less link in the chain and creative display of intelligence. Perhaps there was hope for his people yet. He turned for the few remaining bridge crew. You all will leave your devices on the ship. I'm sure the council will be happy to replace them, but I will personally shoot anyone that brings traceable or networked gear onto the shuttle. Am I clear? We are dealing with a species that controls all of those systems throughout the galaxy, and we cannot lead them to our home world. His staff began emptying their suits of anything that used power and moved to the designated airlock. The commander felt a true moment of grief as he opened it to the empty void of space and had to watch them die. He prayed for a brief moment and then turned to the weapons console, using a plasma cannons to turn the corpses into untraceable dark dust. He looked out and bowed his head. You served with honor. Hopefully, this operation was now completely hidden from all those prying aliens. He began walking towards the shuttle bay to finally meet the target of this whole venture. His heavy footsteps, now the last sounds the ship would ever hear on its suicide run towards the sun. Alice stood as the Xenos grunted at her, then tried to pull away as her hands were shackled behind her. "Feck, you jerks!" It didn't help, and then a ragged band was roughly tied around her head, making a stinking blindfold. She was pushed back to the floor. 20 hours earlier, the Necroton ship went to silent running as the commander reviewed his orders. His tail slapping against the hull plate, and his mission became clear. The dull thuds marked out his incredulity as he read the dark future for his men and his command. The orders had been sealed until he had hit clear space, and now he knew why. He commended his war chief and resealed the orders. No doubt the soldier had his own orders, and between them they would put this madness to work. His war chief had obviously been expecting the call, arriving so quickly that he must have been outside the door. "Sire, I take it you have your orders?" His voice showed no emotion, and he stared directly ahead, waiting. The commander sat back. "Relax, the room is sealed." "Did they tell you why we are doing this? What will happen if we feck up?" The soldier shrugged. "Sire, they told me to prepare to take a certain ship and abduct the target. Nothing else except a long list of threats if I feck up. They don't give reasons to the likes of me." The commander nodded. "Well, I didn't get much more. I can list the consequences, though." He stood up and gazed out at the screen. "If they find out what we are about to do, or worse, afterwards what we have done, we will be banned from their space, barred from their technology. No doubt, those marines and warships that they don't have will make an appearance, and no one will lift a finger to save us. Not against them. They have made it too expensive, too bloody awkward to fight them honestly." His voice carried an edge of bitterness. "So we are expendable. The mission must succeed, and we vanish." The war chief frowned. "Why all the fuss? The humans are always hiring themselves out. They're famous for it, fecking cheaper than the shitstorm that's going to be." The commander looked directly at his soldier. "I don't know who signed your orders, but mine was signed by the Ecclesial Council. This is a religious mission." The war chief swore at that. "Feck! Those priests are fond of their martyrs, aren't they? What the hell do they want with a human?" The commander retook his seat. "Now what would a bunch of technophobe priests want with an engineer, a human one at that? A race that builds its so-called intelligent machines wherever it goes. Blasphemy, they tell me. According to our beloved Oracle, our mysterious center of worship." His eye sharpened, and his voice resumed command. "Get your men ready. I'll prepare the ship." Dismissed. Story number 2. Dear humans, please shoot my commandant. Written by Darmanarya. Dear humans, I know you can read this letter wherever I post it. I know how good your cameras are. I can only assume that your intelligence network is far superior to anything we have. How? Because you refuse to shoot my commandant. Your snipers are amazingly accurate, as we all know, as they have shot just about every leader, both above and below my commandant. And we both know why, it seems. He was promoted due to helping a general go to collude with the commandant's sister, and the fact that his muzzle has graced the tails of everyone worth something at some point in the past 5 years of his career. I understand you want to focus on eliminating those with true leadership skills to cause disorder and more issues. It is working quite well, as most other leaders refuse to be transferred to us due to them enjoying their heads and their hearts without a hole, or blown apart. That and those traps that you lay in the forest are quite scary. However, your refusal to shoot my idiot commandant, I feel, is going to be a bit too far. Yes, he is hurting our war effort considerably more alive than if he was sniped. But if I have to hear a rousing speech before a latrine duty one more time, I will handle it for you. Please, it is reaching the point of what you call a war crime. And I fear you'll be promoted soon due to being the only one with that little brains he has still rattling around in that thick skull. In fact, be sure to use something higher powered than you are using for the other leaders so far, due to me fearing that his skull might stop the bullet. We both know this war will end soon with you winning. Please stop letting us suffer under this idiot. P.S. It was him that ordered we shoot down the drone with party type written on it, with a curve and 2 dots. Desperately, Sergeant Catunia. Dear humans, thank you. It was messy, but I enjoyed every bit of the cleanup. Sincerely. And with a bottle of Wolnia. left in the forest for the sniper, Nua. Sergeant Katnua. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.